Tonight we're having some sweet potato and black bean fajita vegetables with some cilantro, lime, cauliflower rice. So we're going grain-free tonight. Not that I am grain-free, I just really wanted to make some cauliflower rice instead of regular rice. So yeah, we're gonna try that out. First thing we need is a sweet potato. I'm just gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop up a white onion into like just some big chunks, and I'm gonna toss it in with the sweet potato, and this is all gonna get roasted together. Here is everything that we need for the cilantro lime cauliflower rice, minus the cilantro. It's over there, I'm about to chop it. Riced cauliflower, it's just frozen, so I don't even have to cut it up, just throw it in the skillet. Our lime zest, our lime juice, some salt, some pepper, some avocado oil to saute the cauliflower in. Got some toasted sesame oil. This will go on at the end. This just gives the cauliflower a really good toasty flavor, and it makes it taste more similar to rice. Garlic powder and some onion powder. Pasta Primavera, and I'm trying something a little bit different tonight. I'm like kind of merging a bunch of recipes that I've seen before and keeping it really super simple. So let me show you what we've got. Our pasta is going to be what I have left of these penne ancient grains. I've got half of a yellow onion chopped up. We're going to saute that. These are our vegetables. Got broccoli, peas, green beans, carrots, celery, already some onions, some mushrooms, some red peppers. I thought those would be really good in a pasta primavera. Also would be really good in a stir fry. Some nutritional yeast. I'm gonna add a lot of that to the sauce to make it nice and cheesy and salty. And then we've got some tomato basil sauce. I'm gonna add that in there. I love this brand. They have really good ingredients. And then to make it a little creamy, I'm going to add a combo of like a couple dashes of unsweetened almond milk to make kind of like a rosé sauce with the tomato basil sauce, and then a little bit of cashew butter. You could definitely probably omit this, but I think it's just gonna like make it nice and thick and creamy. I don't know, we'll see. I might add in some arugula just because we have it in the fridge and I need to use it up. we are just doing some veggie burgers, some baked fries, and some sauteed greens. It's just gonna be like a mix of stuff that's left over. I need to get everything out. I've already got the oven going for the baked fries. They take the longest, so I'm just gonna get out my russet potato and show you how I cook them. Just cleaned my big russet potato. I always try to find the biggest one I can, and I just rinsed it, and I'm just scrubbing it because I like to keep the skin on. And now we're just gonna cut it into some big old fry shapes. There are two different methods I have for baking these fries to make them crispy without using any oil. For both, you're gonna need a baking sheet like this. So my favorite way to do it is with one of these Silpat mats. Something about this Silpat mat just like crisps things up on all sides, like any veggie. I love it, and it's non-stick, so it cleans up really easily and nothing sticks to it. Now, if you don't have one of those, parchment paper will work, but it just doesn't work in the same way for whatever reason. You could also, which I've done this, use a cooling rack. So normally this is like a cooling rack for your baked goods. You can also set this on top of your baking sheet, and you can lay the fries out like that on the cooling rack on top of the baking sheet and put it in the oven like that. You just have to be careful. That way all the sides get nice and crispy because the heat from the oven is able to circulate around it. You don't want to crowd them, otherwise they're gonna steam instead of roast and get crispy. I'm just gonna spread them out. I've got the oven at 375 just because I find 400, I don't know, my oven might just be really hot. I find at 400 they like cook too fast, so I like 375. I set the timer for 30 minutes and just check them and see what they look like, and then I add 5 minutes if I need it. We've got the leftover arugula that I need to do something with. That'll go in at the end because it'll wilt super fast. We've got some frozen broccoli florets that I need to use. We have some roasted cabbage. It does not look like much in there, but it tastes really good. I just need to chop it up. Garlic powder, some balsamic vinegar, and some soy sauce. The two of these together on veggies are like magic because this is nice and salty and gives that like savory flavor. Balsamic vinegar is like sour and sweet. A little bit of avocado oil for sauteing. I'm gonna add some dried thyme in there as well.
The first recipe I'm going to show you is a very easy and basic cauliflower curry. It's delicious, it's simple, it's one pot, it's fantastic. So the first thing we're going to do is dice some onion. I finally learned how to dice onions properly thanks to a Gordon Ramsay video. Yes, that angry man sure knows how to teach you how to properly cook. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Now we're going to cut up some cauliflower. You can use whatever vegetables you would like, my friends. And in a large pot, we're actually using water to cook our vegetables because I want to keep things oil-free today. But of course, you can add in some oil to dice your onions first if you wish. Yeah, you can use water or oil, it's up to you. Now here I'm adding some minced garlic, which I already have available because I have minced garlic available all the time thanks to a hack. If you want to watch what that hack is, I'll link a video down below. And here we're adding some spices. So spices are very important in curry, people. So we're adding in turmeric, cumin, chili powder, curry powder. And we're going to cook that up a little bit. And then we can add our cauliflower, and we're also going to add some canned pineapple, which tastes great. We're also adding some salt, a can of coconut milk, along with some water. We're adding some red split lentils. That's going to help thicken out this curry. And of course, more protein. We are adding a can of chickpeas, which I've rinsed and drained. And we're going to bring this mixture to a boil. When it comes to a boil, you're going to turn it down to a low heat and cover it up and just let it kind of simmer for about, 20 to 30 minutes. And then it's ready to eat. It's super simple, guys. You can eat this with rice. It's also great with pasta. You can eat it with bread, eat it with whatever you want. I topped mine with cilantro, and it's that simple. Next recipe is going to be my go-to quinoa salad that's super simple and healthy. So first we're going to cook up the quinoa in a pot, just 1 cup of quinoa and 1 1/4 cup of water. We're going to bring that to a boil with a little bit of salt, and then when it comes to a boil, you're going to turn that down to a low heat, cover it up, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. While that quinoa is cooking, you can pretty much prepare the rest of the ingredients. So I opened up a can of black beans and I rinsed and I drained. And I'm also going to chop a bunch of cilantro. I love cilantro, so I like to add a lot. And I'm also going to chop up some red onion as well. Once the quinoa is cooked, I like to remove it from the heat and kind of fluff it around a little bit and let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, I added it into a container here along with the black beans, the cilantro, the red onion. I'm also going to add some canned corn in there as well. And this is when I realized my container was too small. So let's move it to a bowl, a larger bowl. So we're going to mix that all together. I also decided to add in a bell pepper that I chopped up, and some olives as well. So I just had some sliced olives, and I'm just going to add that into the mixture. So the dressing for this is super simple. We are literally just juicing 1 lemon. So we're using the lemon juice to bring out the flavors of everything in here. And I love this salad because it's just so simple, but it's so tasty. And all of the different textures and flavors just make this very interesting. So all you need is lemon juice and a little bit of salt and maybe some pepper, and that's it. And we can put these into containers. And I also like to top mine with some tomatoes as well. I don't want to add too many tomatoes because it can get a bit soggy if you add in vegetables that have a little bit too much water content. So that's something to be aware of. Another thing I love adding is avocado slices in here, and it is so good. Next recipe is going to be a lentil stir fry. That's so easy and delicious, and lentils are a great source of protein and they're just really good for you. So we're going to rinse out some lentils, drain it out, and for 1 cup of lentils we're adding in 2 cups of water. We're bringing this mixture to a boil, and then when it comes to a boil, turn it down to a low simmer and cover it up and let it cook for about 20 minutes or so until the lentils are soft enough. And while that's cooking, we can chop up some vegetables. I am dicing some onion. I'm also going to chop up some broccoli as well as some king oyster mushrooms. Now I'm just using whatever I have in my fridge, and that is the beauty of stir fries. So after about 20 minutes, I checked up on the lentils and I wanted them to be cooked a little bit longer. So I just cooked them for a little bit longer. So just try it out and see if the texture is what you are looking for. And then in a large wok, we are going to add in those mushrooms and the onion. And once again, I'm not using any oil. I'm just going to use the juices of the mushroom to cook up the vegetables. I also added in a lot of minced garlic as usual. And for the sauce, I'm keeping it super duper simple. I'm using some gochujang, which is Korean red chili pepper paste. And I'm also going to use some teriyaki sauce and just mixing those two things together. So gochujang is very thick, so I like to kind of mix together the sauce first in a bowl with a little splash of water so that it becomes easier to work with. And once those lentils are finished cooking, you can of course add them into the wok. And you can also use canned lentils to make your lives easier if you don't want to bother cooking lentils from scratch. So we're going to add in that broccoli as well and the sauce, and then just mix everything well and just kind of let those flavors make love. This goes fantastic with some rice. It's simple, it's healthy, it's flavorful, and you can of course add in other sauces and other ingredients if you would like. And I'm going to garnish my lentils with some green onions and some toasted sesame seeds. And of course, I enjoyed these lentils with rice every single time. It's so handy to have this in the fridge. It's just a nice, delicious, and healthy meal.